Hi everyone, this is Yana Smakula and thanks for joining me. If you have just a handful of Copic markers, or if you are looking to start a collection of Copic markers, this video is for you. About a year or so ago, I shared a blog post over on my blog about my favorite Copic marker color combos. That post has gotten thousands of views ever since, and I've had a lot of people reach out to me and thank me for that information. I've been meaning to turn that post into a video and expand upon it to share even more useful info. I don't have a lot of Copic markers, and all the markers that I have, or I should say most of the markers that I have, I've grouped into combos that work for me and help me have great coloring results every time. You're seeing me create a sheet to document my favorite Copic color combinations. I'll talk for a little bit about how I group my Copic markers, and I'll then explain more about this grid or about this sheet. When I was just starting to build my Copic marker collection, I was looking for suggestions on what colors of markers to get for a beginner. There are so many different colors out there, the markers are expensive, and when you are on a tight crafting budget, you want to make sure to make the most of your purchase. So I've started buying these markers in small portions, building my collection as I went. I should mention that I'm not a certified Copic instructor. I simply enjoy using these markers to color my stamped images. I am not a pro and I still have a lot to learn, but I do have favorite color combos that work for me, and I'm happy to share them with you. If you have a favorite Copic marker color combination, feel free to share it in the comments with me and everyone else who's watching. I bought my first Copic markers on eBay a few years ago, and those were used markers, and there were about 50 different colors. Not all colors worked well together. Many of the markers I ended up not using at all, and I still do not use them. Over the years, I bought a few additional colors to grow my collection. I have 101 marker today. Do I feel I have enough markers to color? Yes, absolutely. Do I want to get more colors? Yes, absolutely. But I'm sticking to those that I have for now, unless I come across some fantastic color combination that I simply must have. My point is, you don't have to have a lot of colors to do nice coloring. Just pick what works for you and get those. Also, my philosophy is less is more. If you have less markers, you're forced to explore them further and learn to use what you have to achieve something that you do not. Now, how do you know if you will like the Copic colors before you actually get them? There are two ways that I use to find new Copic marker colors to add to my collection. If a friend of yours has Copics, have a play date. See what colors you like, write them down, and purchase them. Another way is to look for Copic color combos online. I love to search for those on Pinterest. You'll be surprised. There are so many different suggestions and images to choose from. Now, not all of them will work for you, but that's at least a place to start. You can also look for color combos on various crafting blogs and check the descriptions and supply lists. I, for example, always try to list all of the Copic marker colors that I used to color a specific image. If you already have a small collection of Copics, I suggest you create a color combo chart. You might already have a regular Copic marker chart or a hex chart, but having a color combo chart is also helpful, especially if you like to use the same colors over and over again when you color. For this, you'll need to pick a simple outline image, measure it, and based on its measurements, create a grid on a sheet of cardstock that you usually use to color on. In my case, I used this fish image. It's big enough to show color transitions and blending, but it's not too big that would force me to spend too much time coloring it. I used Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock, as this is the paper that I usually use for my stamping and coloring, and I just used a pencil and a ruler to create a grid. I also added an additional row to be able to write the Copic marker numbers under each image. My image was 1.5 inches wide by 1 inch tall, so those are the measurements that I used. You'll need to measure your stamp to make a chart for the stamp that you plan to use. Next, I stamped my image using Copic marker friendly ink. I use Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink. I also like to use Hero Arts Intense Black and Memento Tuxedo Black ink for stamping when I plan to color with Copics. I already had a chart like this created previously, So at first, I simply copied the combos that worked best for me from the old chart into this new one. Next, because I recently got a few new colors of Copics, I added several new combinations to this chart to reflect the colors that I got. You can see all of the combos shown here in the video description, or you can follow along the marker numbers on the screen. Now, most of my combos have 4 markers to them. I actually rarely use 4. Most of the time I would use just 3, and I would skip either the lightest or the darkest marker. Now, having a chart like this on my desk is super helpful. When I go to color something, I don't have to try and remember what colors I used last time that worked, and I don't have to try and test my colors to see if they would work. I already have my chart, and I can quickly see my go-to marker combinations. This, of course, doesn't prevent me from trying to find new combos from time to time, but I do, for the most part, use my documented Copic marker combos. Now, if you like to color on other colors of cardstock, for example, some people like to color on craft, you can create a chart like this on craft paper, as the marker colors will be different compared to the colors on white paper. So here is what my chart looks like right now. I have a few blank fish in there, and I can fill those in later as I explore my Copic markers further, or if I get some additional colors. I hope this video has been helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you are going to create a chart like this, or if you already have one. Thanks so much for watching. If you have questions, as always, leave them in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't yet done so. If you are a subscriber but are not receiving the new video notifications, check the bell icon on the homepage of my channel to get notified every time there's a new video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye!